by seeing somebody post on social media? Yeah. And how many of you, this is a trick question, I'm pretty sure everyone's going to raise their hand, but hi, Mia. How many of you have signed somebody on social media? Everybody, right? Almost everybody. So social media is an amazing tool that we have. I have 3 children. As you can see, my entire team has babies out the wazoo. We can't necessarily be going to house day after day and having these parties, right guys? And we can't, like the old school way to do network marketing, we've found a new way to be able to accomplish this without ever having to go face to face. Not to say that we never do, or that that's not still a great way to build your business, but we are able to harness the power of social media. So I have people tell me all the time, there's so many It Works distributors in my town. Has anyone heard that before from the PBT? Or my town's so small, there's not enough people to talk to. Yes? Or I'm shy, or I don't have a lot of friends. Like, these are all objections we hear all the time. And because of social media, we can help them get through all of those objections. I live in Sarasota, Florida. It's where the headquarters is, and there's probably like over 20 ambassador diamonds that live there in Sarasota, Florida. I'll be like driving through Starbucks or whatever, and I'll be like, oh, Sarah Bacon, or like, oh, Pam Souter, like all the time. And so, but I'm still a presidential, and I'm still continuing to build my business, and it's because I don't rely solely on my town. I actually have very few distributors from my town. They're from all over the country and even some around the world. And so that's why social media is so cool, is because we can find distributors from all over. Everywhere that we're open, you can have a distributor on your team from that country. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the main points that I teach my team to use social media, or how we use social media every single day in our business. These are things that we are non-negotiables, right? You guys, like, we say that every team meeting, like non-negotiables. You've got to do it. You can't not do these things, and if you don't, then your business is not going to grow, it's not going to flourish, unless you're doing your business outside of social media. So I'm going to try to keep it, like, I could do like an hour, 2-hour training on the things I'm about to tell you guys about, but we don't have time for that. So I'm going to briefly go over each of them and try to give a brief explanation that makes sense to everybody. So first thing is posting on social media. This is so important because this is your open sign. It shows the world that you are an It Works distributor, that you're open for business, that you're consistent, that you personally use the products, you love them, you love the business, all the things that are happening in your business. You are shouting these out from the rooftop. If you're day one in the business, or your first couple weeks, or first couple months, whatever it is, and maybe you haven't like reached these huge goals that you want to reach, then you talk about how you're going to reach them, and you're sharing other people's stories and other people's success and other people's testimonies. So there's always something to post on social media, and it's really important that we're very consistent with that every single day. I tell my newbies at least one new like opportunity lifestyle type post every day, and at least one product post a day. And then I show them what that is. Like, it's never salesy, it's never an ad. We are bombarded with ads every single day. So the more that you can insert the opportunity and the products into your life and make them real, the more people are gonna attract to you. That's a big thing that we teach on our team, is attraction marketing. Like, how amazing would it be if instead of messaging hundreds of people every day, people are coming to you instead because they love your post, they love what you're talking about, and they want to know more about it. So always have that open sign on, always be talking about what's going on in your business. I shared this in our team training the other day. I posted something that said, we have just welcomed 25 new distributors in the last 2 days. This team is exploding, yada, 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 getting everybody fired up, right? And I told my teammates, like, hey guys, even if you don't have 25 distributors directly below you, you can still post this same type of post because we are a team. So if Bear says something like, guys, 50 new distributors, whatever, we can all be posting. Most of us can be posting like 50 new teammates in the last couple of days. How incredible is this? So share posts, share ideas. Don't copy, be you. And that's all I'm going to say about posting. Like I said, I could go on for like 1,000 years on posting. But the next thing I want to talk about is stories. This is something our team focuses on a lot. And stories is just really, you can do Instagram stories and Facebook stories. I don't know if they're called stories on Facebook, but whatever. Like basically the video type stuff where you can go watch what's really happening in their life. And the reason I say that is because I try to be as raw and real as possible in my stories. If any of you guys have seen my stories, you're probably like, Hot Mess Express, like she's a mess, what's wrong with her? I am just in my PJs, crazy hair, just as real and raw as possible. I'm showing this to my kids, like hanging from the fans, and just, it's crazy over there at my house. I don't know if you know, but now you know. And so that's what I post. That is what I put on my stories. I want people to see the real me, because people are going to buy you before they buy the products or before they buy into the opportunity. And a lot of people see these perfect posts on Instagram and Facebook and they think, I could never be like that person because she's so put together. She has a perfect life and her kids sit Indian style with their hands folded and actually eat off their plates. Like people are like, I can't do that because that's not me. But if you show how real and relatable you really are, then people are going to be like, oh, I can do that. Like if she can do that, I can do that. So I always encourage you to be as real as possible in your stories. Last tip I'll give you, because again, I could go on forever about it, but use what Instagram and Facebook give you, meaning whatever their new stuff is, use it. So right now we have polls, we have music, we have questions, we have, what am I missing? Like a quiz, like all these different things that you can utilize in your story. And when you do that, Instagram is like, I like that. She or he is using our stuff. And so you get boosted up and you get shown more. So use what Instagram and Facebook give you, and you'll get more interaction and more people will see your stuff, which that's our goal, right? We want people to be seeing our stuff. I was just like, I got more stuff to say, but the clock's ticking. I'm moving on. Okay, so the third thing, and this is so important, the next two things that I talk about are so important, and I think we skim over them because we're like, I gotta message a zillion people, and I gotta post 14 times today, which you don't have to post 14 times. But these two things get overlooked. They're so important. The first one, building your network. So we all have a warm market. Sammy's warm market might have been like 5 people, and Fair's warm market might have been like 38 people, and then Rachel might have had like 2,000 people. I don't know. Everybody has a warm market, but you're always going to run out of it, and which means you always have to be growing your network. And a lot of people, when they are objecting you're talking about the business and they're objecting it because they're saying, I don't have a large network, you can tell them, like, look, I'm going to show you how to grow your network. You don't have to know thousands of people. You don't have to have a big following on Facebook or Instagram. But then when they get started, you have to show them how, right? So growing your network is very, very simple. All it means is you're sending friend requests to people on Facebook and you're adding followers on Instagram. And the way that you do that, the best way you can do that is to think of what your interests are, the things that interest you most. Think of 4 to 5 things. And then go out and find those people. So think about Instagram. Like for me, I'm a twin mom. So I can go look at like one thing that I did in the past, and I think it's how I actually have I do have many twin moms on my team because I'm a twin mom. But I think it's how I found Taylor, who had to leave. But like twin mom specific baby equipment. It sounds crazy, right? Like it's a very small niche of people. But what I knew is by adding these people, they were going to see I'm a twin mom too, and then they were going to relate to me, and then they were going to see my posts, and they were going to be like, this lady gets to stay home with her twins. I want to stay home with my twins. See what's happening here? So like you might not be a mom, you might not have kids, you might not, whatever. You're a dog lover, Bonnie. You told me you're a dog lover. So another one I did, and I'm not saying go necessarily do this one, but think inside these lines is, at one time I did BarkBox, the dog subscription. description, and I actually found one of the girl I enrolled through BarkBox enrolled my top enroller. She's a presidential diamond. She's like insane. And if I hadn't have done BarkBox because I love dogs, I wouldn't have found Leah, who found Rochelle. So, do these things find these things that interest you, add those people. Do not go to stuff that doesn't interest you and add them, because the chances of them enjoying what you're sharing, enjoying your content, is not as likely, and now you're just wasting your time. They're either not going to follow you back, or they're going to follow you for a short amount of time and then leave because what you're saying isn't interesting to them. So build your network, very important. This is number 4, so important, you guys, and this is the most skimmed over one that we could skim, at least for me, and that is interacting. And we think, like, I don't have to interact because I'm just going to go do all these other things. But really, interacting is so important because that's what's getting the people to see you. You could post all day long, but if you're not actually out there interacting with other people, why does your post matter to them? Why do they care? You're not the only It Works distributor on their newsfeed. So you need to be going out to them and showing them why they should choose you. And I've had a lot of people, not to toot my own horn, I guess I will toot my own horn, but I have a lot of people come to me and say, like, I chose you because I feel like this, and that. And it's because I went to them, yeah, even though we're from the same town, we didn't know each other at all. And when she jumped on, I was like, where are you from? And she's like, Brandon. And I'm like, that's where I'm from. How do we not know each other? But it's because, I'm not the only It Works girl on her newsfeed. Probably not at all. You probably have a lot. But she chose me because I took the time to make her feel special, to make her feel like she could do this. I lifted her up, I empowered her, and I hope, like, I did some of those stuff. And she chose me. So interacting is so important, and it's as simple as taking 10 minutes a day and going out. On Facebook, I go to my friends, and you can click newest, and you can go interact with all your new friends every single day. Every single day, go send them a compliment. Think what you would do, like, if you got a compliment today from some rando on Facebook. You'd probably, I'm like pointing directly at you, but like everybody, like, you'd be like, oh, who's that girl that like just told me my hair looks amazing? Because it does. So I love her. So you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna click on her stuff, and you get, social media is a weird thing where like you have a little bit of a conversation with somebody and you feel like you know them all of a sudden. I say that to my team all the time. I'm like, I haven't seen Amy since middle school, you guys. Elementary school. But I feel like we know each other because we talk every day. But even before that, before you were a It Works distributor, we throw little things back and forth. We both had kids, and at the same time, all this stuff. So interact is so important. You can like stuff, you can comment, you can ask questions. That's the best way, because if I ask you where you got your bag, you're going to reply back to me, and then I'm going to reply back to you, and then Instagram's like, they like each other. We're going to keep putting each other on their news feed. So asking questions is huge. Fifth thing, and this is super important, because unless you're like just killing it and a total rock star, which we all strive to get here one day, where I said everyone's coming to you, that doesn't always happen. So you need to reach out to people. So you need to message, you guys, and never think of messaging as a bad thing. Who knows Jay Hooper? Anybody? Maybe not personally, but like maybe you've heard her name here and there. She said something the other day where she was like, I do the same thing, but the way she worded it, I was just like, yes. She messages, and then she follows up until they block her, they join her team, or they get a restraining order on her. She's like, and I don't mean 3 times, and then they get lost, or I drop them off my list. I literally follow up with them until one of those 3 things happens. And she's like, and it's your mindset. I never ever think of it as me bothering them or doing, a disservice to them. I think of it as me being there for my girl. And I know that she might be good right now, but in 6 months or a year or 18 months or 2 years or however long it takes for her to join my team, she knows I'm there for her. And I'm never going to stop following up with her. I have like goosebumps right now. This is Jay like, I want her to know that she's my girl, and I'm not giving up on her, whether she wants me to or not. So never think that messaging, you're bothering somebody. And if you're doing all these things, if you're interacting and you're building these relationships with people, then you should never feel like you're bothering anybody anyway. So that's kind of the end of my spiel. Like I said, I could go on and on and on, and I do social media trainings all the time because it's how we